So, welcome to the second video in an introduction to club racing. I did the previous video about how to pass your odds test, and that got a few views. But the views were they'd seen it pretty much all the way through, so that's given me some inspiration to do another one on race weekends. Again, from the perspective of somebody that's just gone through this, that still knows some of the painful lessons when you tip up and people just expect you to know what to do, and you don't because you've never done it before. But the first thing is, before I go into race weekends, is people don't tell you about circuit layouts for one thing. Know the circuit layout, because they are usually a long walk from one way to another, especially Silverstone. If you get in the maze of cages and paddock cages in Silverstone, but the national pits, you'll be walking a lot. So know the layouts, know where the signing on place is. I'll come on to that in a bit. Know when the scrutineering garage is. Know where the paddock areas are. And if you're going to be camping there, try and find out as best you can where the hookups are, where the toilets are, things that if you know in advance, you don't have to worry about when you get there, because you've got enough to worry about in your first few weekends. So try and do some research, try and find out where things are. You're going to save yourself a lot of walking around, and that's quite useful. Food's quite expensive. Bear that in mind at every circuit. It's all coffee and food, very expensive. So what do you need to take for a race weekend? Well, the car, unless you're doing a arrive and drive. But don't forget your kit, don't forget your license. This should be fairly obvious, but just don't forget your license, because you're not doing anything without that. You might have a garage, a bit of garages, but more than likely you won't. So you'll be out in the elements. If you've got a gazebo, great. You're going to need someone to take your tools, or put your tools. Don't assume you're not going to be necessarily in a nice comfy garage, and even though garages are not that comfy, really. Another top tip is the amount of times I'd double check and triple check the timetable. It's just easy if you've got it fab blonde or in a Polly Pocket or something nice to hand, so you can just go, right, okay, so this is this time, because you'll have a few timings through the weekend, so have that nice and safe and waterproof. Fuel. You might be lucky with the fuel on site. It depends. If you're doing testing as well, there might not be somebody manning the fuel pump if it's Friday, potentially. So make sure you know how and where you're going to get fuel, and if that's definitely going to be available. Unless you've got a few jerry cans, then great. The steps for a weekend, then. Obviously, you rock up whenever you can, and whenever they're open is sign on, and the sign on is where you need to take your license, and you just basically register that you're there for the weekend. You'll be registered there through your club, but you need to tip up, and they will give you a little piece of paper, a little chit that you need to take away with you. You need to know where to sign on. That's where the map is going to come in handy, and know which orientation the map is and where things are and where you are. And you don't need to wait until the day you're racing. You might even be able to do it on the Saturday, whenever. Do it wherever you can, whenever the office is open. Try, at least I can say no, come back tomorrow, but try and get it out of the way as soon as you can. Secondly, then, with that chit that you need to do first, take that bit of paper and go and do your scrutineering. You will have an allotted time, probably, for scrutineering for your series. Scrutineering is they make sure the car is not necessarily to the, well, in my club anyway, it's not so much about the club's regulations, but it's just the safety stuff. So you go to the scrutineering bay, where a guy in a blue shirt rocks your seat back and forth, asks you to turn the engine on, he tests the cut off, he asks you to put yellow tape on your negative battery lead, because it's got to be yellow. And you need to take your safety kit with you as well, everything in your bag, so your hands device, your boots, everything. So they just check the labels, your lid. You might need a £1 coin or a £2 coin for a blue sticker on your lid if you've not had one before. It's silly little things like that, yeah. So yeah, they'll scrutineer your car, you. They'll take your chit and give you a sticker. You put that sticker on your roll cage, usually on the right hand side, and in the uh, rear passenger window, and then you're done. Now, when I said you've got an allotted time, now because you're new, there's a top tip here. Say you're new right from the off. Say, hi there, I just, is there anything else I need to do? And I've done this before, and you'll have a lot more leniency. The established teams that try and get scrutineered outside their allotted time will usually get fobbed off. Now, go away, go away, go away. It's not time yet. If you turn up and you're kind of obviously you're quite new, you will get a certain amount of leeway. They'll go, yeah, okay, well, if they're not busy, go. If the scrutineer garage is open and there's nobody in there, and you want to get it done nice and early because maybe that's the first time you've gone with your car, and you're a bit nervous, as you probably should be, is this going to be okay? Because if not, I might have to spend a few hours getting it sorted. Do I want to wait until the morning that I'm qualifying or racing or whatever? Probably not. So go nice and early and say, hi there, I've just built the car myself, my first weekend or so. Can you take a look, please? Is there any chance? And from my experience, they're quite understanding with that. Yeah, the best advice there really is the more you can do ahead of time, the more relaxed you can be. Because if this is your first weekend, so yeah, just get everything done in good time and try and relax. So when you're all ready, and you have your qualifying, it depends on the club. My club used to do qualifying on Saturday, race on Sunday, 2 races, and then home, and quite often a Friday practice session if you wanted to pay extra directly to the circuit and race with Mercedes GT3 cars, which is quite interesting. Sorry, not race, but have them, go past them while they're warming their tyres up. That's a great feeling. But yeah, typically it's qualifying Saturday, race on Sunday. My club now do everything on the Sunday, which is a bit full on, but actually it's manageable. And it means that when we go camping on the circuits, we have Saturday to ourselves. So that's quite nice, actually. So you're suited up and you're ready to go, and it's an hour or so until you're heading out. Typically, it seems that you get called into the assembly area about 40 minutes or so before your session starts. The assembly area, it'd be good to know where this is beforehand, but otherwise just follow everybody else, it'd be fine. And assume they know where they're going. So the assembly area, it's just where you kind of line up or just reverse park into the fence and you're all in a big circle or something. Yeah, it's just where you are assembled, and then you can be kind of called and waved off in a certain order. You have to park where the marshals direct you to park. You'll be sitting there for half an hour. So yeah, probably don't bother seating up and getting everything ready in the paddock and then going to the assembly area. Just go, and then wait the half an hour or so. They'll give you all kind of signal, suit up, and then another signal a few minutes later. Right, engines on, let's go, and out you go. Obviously, before you leave the paddock, just make sure one final check that you've got everything. Don't take anything with you unless you've got somebody in the car to take them back to the paddock for you. One unfortunate story: my first session ever, doing my suit zip, it broke, and just as it broke, the announcement comes over the tannoy to the assembly area, and I've spent years getting ready, and all that time, all that money, and literally I've got the zip in my hand. I'm thinking, bugger. Got it sorted in the end. I won't say how, but yeah, hopefully that won't happen to other people. You come back, you might be sat around a little bit more, maybe waiting to be weighed in kind of parc ferme, or you might just be, yeah, we don't need to speak to you, go away, go away. Yeah, we want to speak to you, or whatever, you know. And then back to the paddock. So where do you get your times? You can either walk up to race control, and they'll have them in the doorway somewhere on the wall, the TSL timing sheets, or somebody will come and stick one under your window wiper for you because they're nice like that. Or you can go on your phone and go to tsltiming.com, and within half an hour or so, maybe an hour, go to your event, and the times will be there. So that's how I've started to see how well I did now. Some really good advice, easy to give, very difficult to follow, which is try to enjoy it. You've really got to relax, and yeah, the more of this stuff you can tick off beforehand, the better prepped you are, the more you know. Hopefully, the more relaxed you will be, as you'll get more out of it, and then it'll start to flow. Go to another weekend, and you can actually start properly concentrating on getting quicker and getting a bit more seat time and that kind of thing. So yeah, that in a nutshell is race weekends. Any comments? Let me know. We do a few more videos when time allows.